Hello, my name is Dr. Richard Horowitz, and I'm the co-host of the free online Healing from Lyme Disease Summit, June 4th to the 10th, 2024. During this summit, you're going to learn about how to gather the tools to get your life back as you hear from 40 to 50 of the world's experts in tick-borne diseases. I would like to share with you one of 18 success stories of people who will be interviewed during the summit, who will highlight the safety and success of dapsone combination therapy and the power of addressing all of the abnormalities on the 16-point MSIDS map. This next story comes from Austin. As you'll hear, he was sick his entire life, as was his brother. Both are now in full remission for several years after doing dapsone combination therapy and addressing MSIDS variables. In the case of Austin, he was a professional athlete in college, also playing pro basketball. His MSIDS factors included immune deficiency and food allergies with leaky gut. Before seeing me, he had tried IV antibiotics and vitamins, but never got back his health and never functioned at 100% of normal. He then fractured his back, and the stress brought out his Lyme disease symptoms. He is now 3.5 years in remission since doing dapsone combination therapy and addressing MSIDS variables.
My story is kind of unique. I'm only 25 and I've had Lyme since, honestly, I can remember since I was a little kid. My mom has it and my brother had it as well. And they all went to Dr. H. And so my symptoms, luckily enough, I wasn't as bad as my mom or some of the people I've heard on this call. So you guys are definitely inspirations for sure. But everyone's story is relative. And so for me, I played basketball. I played Division I and pro. So for me, being sick and having symptoms doesn't really go hand in hand with playing a sport at a high level. So growing up, playing basketball, my main symptoms were just immune deficiency things. So I would get sick a lot. I had stomach issues. Really, it was more allergic to foods. So any kind of white flour, sugar, really anything other than whole natural foods, I couldn't really eat without getting pretty bad stomach pains and, fatigue. I was always tired, things like that. So it just didn't go hand in hand with basketball and just being a young kid. All my friends would be out partying or having fun, hanging out, and I couldn't go because I couldn't stay up late because it would mess me up the next day. Um, my mom was much worse than me. I mean, I saw her, she had headaches and things like that. So I didn't ever want it to get to that point. And luckily enough, uh, she found Dr. H and some other doctors when we were living in New Jersey. And I did the whole thing, antibiotics, vitamins, IVs, all those. And through a lot of research and things like that, I definitely got my symptoms under control and so that they were manageable. I never really had any story of where I couldn't function fully or couldn't play basketball, but I wasn't operating at 100%. And for where I wanted to get to basketball wise, I had to. So actually, funnily enough, my brother did the double dose dapsone protocol before me when we were both in college, and he doesn't play sports or anything like that, but I watched it for him, and he did the 2-month protocol, and he was completely fine. He kind of had the same symptoms as me. Like when he was a little bit younger, he also had headaches and some other tough things that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I just know it was rough. And the double dose dapsone protocol, he was in complete remission afterwards. Doesn't take vitamins or pills anymore, and he's completely fine. So I did the same thing. I got home. I actually broke my back playing basketball. My symptoms were under control for a while, and that stress I think kind of brought back my Lyme symptoms. So rather than doing the whole antibiotic vitamin thing, I saw what he did and talked to Dr. H and tried the double dose dapsone protocol. And I went on the dapsone protocol, I want to say I would say either the end of 2020 or the beginning of 21. So yeah, it's been about 3.5 years. The symptoms I had were kind of more fatigue. I mean, I was doing rehab and full basketball workouts while on the double dapsone, which I found out after from Dr. H probably wasn't the best idea. But luckily enough, I didn't really have any hercs or bad symptoms. I would say the biggest thing was just fatigue and shortness of breath while I was working out and stuff. But I mean, I recommend it to anyone who's sick, no matter what level of symptoms or difficulty you're having. I'm in remission now. I have no Lyme symptoms. I would say I'm 100% better. So I definitely recommend the protocol, and Dr. H has definitely changed my life. So thank you.
This success story, which highlights the safety and efficacy of dapsone combination therapy and addressing MSIDS variables, is one among many that you'll hear about during the free online Healing from Lyme Disease Summit, June 4th to the 10th, 2024. You can learn more about these protocols and the MSIDS map in the journal Healthcare in 2018 and in the International Journal of General Medicine in 2019 in Precision Medicine's Part 1 and Part 2. You can also learn about these protocols in my New York Times bestseller, Why Can't I Get Better? And national bestseller, How Can I Get Better? As well as all of the recent improvements in the dapsone protocol to make it safer, more tolerable, and even more efficacious in treating Bartonella, which can be found in our last publication in the journal Microorganisms, published in September 2023. So please join me, Dr. Richard Horowitz, at the free online Healing from Lyme Disease Summit, June 4th to the 10th, 2024, and get the tools that you need to get your life back. I know you will get a lot out of this summit, and I hope to see you there.